For Kentucky at forward, a 6'7" sophomore from Nashville, Tennessee, number 33, Ron Mercer. For Arizona at forward, a 6'5" junior from Seattle, Washington, number 23, Michael Dickerson. For Kentucky at forward, a 6'9" sophomore from Louisville, Kentucky, number 34, Scott Padgett. For Arizona at center, a 6'11" sophomore from Albuquerque, New Mexico, number 42, A.J. Bramlett. For Kentucky at center, a 6'10" freshman from Toronto, Canada, number 42, Jamal McGlure. For Arizona at guard, a 6'1" freshman from Phoenix, Arizona, number 10, Mike Bibby. For Kentucky at guard, a 6'2" sophomore from Boston, Massachusetts, number 5, Wayne Turner. For Arizona at guard, a 6'5" junior from Fullerton, California, number 34, Miles Simon. For Kentucky at guard, a 6'2" senior from Lebanon, Kentucky, number 25, Anthony F. And the coaches from Arizona in his 24th season, Luke Olson. From Kentucky in his 15th season, Rick Pitino.
For Arizona, its first time ever in the title game. Kentucky's 9th. Kentucky has won the championship 6 times. Looking for a repeat championship. Billy, you're...
The win. We saw all 4 teams on Saturday shoot very poorly in this arena. There is no win factor. There just was tough defense. Let's see who comes up with good field goal shooting tonight.
Well, the officials, the 3 T's, Tim, Ted, and Tom. Hopefully we won't have to call on a 4th tee before this game is over.
Let's hope we don't have any T's. The tee was a big, big play on Saturday.
In the Minnesota-Kentucky semifinal, Arizona in the dark blue uniforms. And Simon almost stole the tip, but Kentucky controls. Kentucky 35-4, Arizona 24-9 on the year.
Dickerson on Mercer, not Davison Mercer. Nice switch by Simon.
Bibby got a hand in there to steal it. Davison takes off. No whistle. And McGlure retrieves for Kentucky.
Great help by Turner, because Davison's one of the best dunkers in the college game.
Turner, who moved to the point come SEC tournament time, and has been really successful.
Nice help by Bramlett.
Turner, jump shot. In and out. Tipped up by McGlure twice. And stripped away by Dickerson. McGlure was ready to go up for a 3rd attempt. Bibby in traffic scores the game's first points.
Terrific crossover dribble by Bibby. He was under control the whole time and went by one of the best defenders in the game in Turner. You can see Arizona really getting out on the threes.
Mercer misses his first shot of the night. McGlure very active on the offensive glass. Turner off balance for Kentucky's first 2.
Jim, Turner is amazing inside the foul line as a shooter. He is woeful beyond the 3 and really doesn't even look to take him. But when he penetrates, he can shoot.
Dickerson, whistle first, and they take away the made basket by Dickerson. It's so important that that man get off to a good start. He has struggled in March.
Absolutely, Jim. Only 4 for 25 of threes in the NCAA. Here's the road to, Jim, in terms of how did they get there. And, of course, those first 2 games, Arizona was behind by 10 in the second half in both of them.
The largest margin of victory is 8. And there's Turner, not this time. That foul at the other end on Davison on the inside. Arizona will get the ball back. Kentucky, now while Arizona has won all tight games, the largest margin of victory for Arizona was 8. Kentucky's average margin has been 14, with Iowa playing him the tightest, a 6-point win. Scott Padgett hit a big 3 late to help seal it. Simon turnaround.
Inside the zone. There's Davidson with that quick leaping ability. One of the best players in college basketball getting off the floor quickly. So Kentucky hasn't shown their press yet because they haven't gotten in the mode to score and be able to get into it, but they've shown zone and man-to-man. It's going to be interesting, Jim, to see how much that game Saturday against Minnesota took out of Kentucky.
Epps with the three, and he said yesterday, I love shooting in domes, and he harkened back to last year playing up in Minneapolis in the dome up there, hitting his first 3 threes of the night.
There's the double down by Kentucky. Somebody's got to be open opposite. Arizona can't do it.
Bibby firing back short. From behind, Bramlett reached in to pick his pocket. Simon pulls up and was hit on the arm by McGlure.
Jim, both of these teams are extremely quick. Kentucky had trouble with South Carolina, a team that beat them twice this year with 3 very quick guards. But Kentucky has not faced this year a team that's got 5 players that can run like Arizona can. So that's going to be an interesting adjustment for Rick Pitino.
Simon, the only returning starter from Arizona's team last year. Their top returning scorer and rebounder from 96. And 20-point average in the tournament, but really has been hot in the last 2 with 30 in the regional final against Providence to win the MVP of the Southeast, and 24 against Carolina Saturday.
Arizona shows a little press of their own, but basically a one-man Bibby on Turner, just making him run because he played 39 minutes, did Turner, in that game against Minnesota, so they're going to try to make him run at all times. A little double on Epps. They'll let Turner go because he's not a jump shooter.
Off the arms of Simon, 20 on the shot clock. 6-5 Arizona.
Jim, that was an interesting defensive maneuver by Arizona. When Turner hits and goes away, they double somebody else because they're not worried about the ball being swung over for Turner to take a 3-point shot. He's not going to shoot him.
He's only 26%, Bill, as you mentioned, woeful from 3.
It's a nice maneuver by Lute Olson.
5 on the shot clock. Padgett left free for the 3.
Big mistake by Arizona that time. The one thing you cannot let Kentucky do is let Padgett spot up, Mills when he gets into the game spot up, Epps spot up.
And that's his favorite spot on the floor. Davison wanting to challenge. Now goes over. Simon open 3. Long board to Dickerson.
Good blocking out by Kentucky.
Way up high. Mercer had it for a moment. Out of bounds, and the under-16 timeout has arrived. Kentucky's hit both of its shots from behind the arc. This one by Padgett. And Kentucky leads 8-6.
Here's what I was talking about in regard to Turner. Watch, he has the ball. He's going to hit Epps over here, and then he's going to cut through. Watch what happens. Bibby will go for the double team. They'll let Epps alone. They don't care where he goes outside the 3-point line. Excellent maneuver here by Arizona. I guarantee you Rick Pitino is going to see that. He's going to adjust, tell Turner to break inside like that and come back to the basket for a layup.
Here's the full court pressure. There's not been a sub in the game to this point.
Oh, dangerous pass by Bibby. You want to keep that dribble alive at half court. Kentucky really rushing at Dickerson, Jim. They don't want to see him get started.
Bibby gets tipped out to Simon. Dickerson 3. And tipped up by Bramlett. Had a good chance to knock that one down.
Turner, an excellent rebounder. Doesn't mind going in traffic. McGlure trying to set the screen to get Turner loose.
Turner just inside the line. Back out to Turner. In the corner, Mercer. That's a 3. And off Padgett. Kentucky will bring in Allen Edwards, a junior from Miami who averages 9 a game and missed the 2 regional games in San Jose with a stress fracture in his right ankle, but back for 12 minutes of play against Minnesota.
Jim, here goes a full court man pressure now. Nobody guarding the man taking the ball out of bounds. Bramlett comes back. He's got to get the ball in the hands of a ball handler. Simon beats it off the dribble. Got to be careful from behind.
Puts it up with a left hand and a block foul called against McGlure, his second. Billy, this one surprised you, but over the last 10 years, Arizona has the best win percentage in all of college basketball.
Jim, a lot of things when you really start looking into their program surprise you a little bit. Arizona ties with Duke with 10 first-round draft choices, the most of any team in the 90s going into the NBA. So they not only have had talent, obviously they've been successful. Probably the thing that shakes everybody up are the early losses that they had in the NCAA tournament. But as we pointed out on Saturday, Lute Olson is 4-0 in regional finals.
Jared Prickett right there, 32, also checking in for the first time. The Iron Man from Kentucky. This his 143rd game, a Kentucky record. He topped Ralph Baird's mark earlier in the tournament. Padgett, same spot where he hit earlier.
And here comes Arizona.
Yeah, they break early. No problem with the press. Bramlett for two and a free throw.
Now, that's what I was talking about before, Jim. Team speed. Kentucky has not faced 5 guys that can get down the floor like this. Arizona off the rebound created the numbers just by blazing speed by Bramlett and Davison and Dickerson on the wings. Terrific pass. We've seen Bibby so many times with the no look. Freezes the defense with the eyes. Here he is. Boom. Great play. Good hands by Bramlett, who has been just outstanding in the NCAA tournament.
Foul was on Padgett. Mercer's back in. So Aaron Jordan, A.J. Bramlett's three-point play puts Arizona up by 3.
There's that curl move. Great help by Davison on Mercer. Pritchett's got to look to take that shot.
Edwards on the baseline. Out of bounds. Arizona ball.
There again, the great quickness of Davison getting down on the baseline. The drive, they give up the baseline, and there is Davison. He came all the way down. He was guarding Prickett all the way up to the top of the key and got down on the baseline for the charge.
Edwards back out. Boy, Davison by this point on Saturday already had 3 fouls. It was not much of a factor in that game, but a big factor in a win over Providence in the regional final.
Solid screen for Dickerson.
Has it stripped away, though. Kentucky off and running. Bibby with the quick hands prevented a layup by Mercer.
How about the speed of Davison to get down there to equalize the numbers when it looked like Kentucky had a 3-on-1 break.
Prickett kicks it out. Mercer, his first basket of the night, is a 3 to tie it at 11.
We've seen twice where men have left. In that case, Mercer left by Dickerson. You cannot do that against Kentucky. You've got to play your man out on the perimeter.
Tough shot.
Turner battling down inside for the rebound. I would say the pace favors Arizona, Jim, because you got to think the number of minutes guys like Mercer and Turner had to play against Minnesota. Davison, as I mentioned, only played 10 minutes on Saturday. So he has to really be fresh.
Padgett steps in for a 2. Shook free from Davison, who gets the rebound. The rest of this Arizona team that played a lot of minutes with tireless though. And there's Dickerson. He trips on Patino after burying the 3.
And Rick calls a 20-second timeout for his own safety. But boy, you can imagine how happy Lute Olson is to see that 3 go down. He was 4 for 25 up to that point from 3 in the NCAA tournament.
And had missed his last 9 shots dating back to Saturday.
Rick Pitino doing a little leaner, and then Dickerson headed down court. Rick Pitino right there in the coaching box, so nothing illegal.
It's not a charge?
No.
Looked like he had position. Arizona, only the second number 4 seed to make it to the title game, and Syracuse last year was the other. In fact, this is the 7th time that a 4 seed has made it to the Final Four. None of them have ever won the championship. Lute Olson's team, 5th in the Pac-10 this year, but the Pac-10 starring in this tournament with an 11-4 record. Epps left open, top of the key, and Edgerson, a freshman from New Orleans, comes in to swipe the first rebound. He had 9 on Saturday.
There's that crossover dribble by Bibby again, but Turner right there to face guard him. Great job defensively.
Epps stepped in to make the steal. Jason Terry, 31, also in for Arizona.
And he's a little small to be guarding Mercer, even though he's the steal leader for Arizona.
Ball on the floor into the arms of Nazi Muhammad. Shot put by Mercer. Bibby with the board.
Bibby and Turner are both going down inside to get a lot of defensive rebounds.
Jason Terry, who was dehydrated in Saturday's game, was back for practice yesterday. Bramlett. Too strong, and Epps, the guards are pulling away the rebounds.
Simon loses Mercer for a second.
Look at Kentucky from inside of the arc, only 1 of 10. Mercer dumps it to Muhammad, make it 2 of 11.
Terrific job by Nazi, because you have to assume Mercer, coming off that little roll, is going to take his jump shot. He kept his eyes. And here's where you don't want the ball against the press.
Rickett makes the steal. Dishes, no call, and loose ball to Bibby.
Well, that's an interesting way to get the ball up the court.
The way to break the press.
Turnover. But you do not want the ball down in deep in the corners against Kentucky.
Simon splits the defenders beautifully.
Nazi came out for a hedge move, and Simon, who is a very intelligent basketball player, just split it.
16-13, Arizona foul.
Yeah, he was held. Mercer held. That was going to be on Harris, and he was trying to help Dickerson out. Nobody in college basketball runs the curl move any better than Ron Mercer. He's worked on it hours on end. And when he comes around there, he can square up and elevate for that short jumper.
Both teams with 3 subs on the floor. Mercer and Epps, the only 2 Kentucky starters. Bibby and Dickerson for Arizona. Epps in the lane. And Donnell Harris.
Donnell Harris, another guy that's come off the bench with Edgerson and really doing a great job off the boards. He had 9 rebounds on Saturday.
Bibby, three-pointer. He had 6 of them Saturday. He continues to sizzle.
That was about as smooth a 3 as you'll see. That's a Cameron Mills type 3. Here's Mills, and I guarantee you Terry's not going to let him breathe when he's beyond that three-point line.
Muhammad turnaround. Henderson with position. Yep, tried to squirt the ball out. Mills gets it to go. Cameron Mills. He's had double-figure games, 6 of the last 7. Bibby easily breaks past.
You can recover.
Kentucky ball. Allen Edwards back in for Kentucky.
And one of the things that Edgerson, without the experience, you see Davison coming back in, was much better off calling the 22nd timeout than getting caught with the ball under Kentucky's basket and giving up an easy 2.
Turner back also for Kentucky.
And you see what happens every time Turner comes in the game. Arizona picks him up full court. They're going to make him work every second he has the ball in his hands.
Shot clock malfunction for a moment. Kentucky trying to repeat as national champion. And there's the list. They would join UCLA as the only 2 programs to ever repeat as champion on 2 occasions. Well, in UCLA's case, it was many occasions.
It was Adolph Rupp's Fab 5 in 1948 and 49 with Beard and Groza. One of the all-time great teams in early NCAA history. Edwards.
And Turner gives it up. Mills from 3 again. Cameron Mills. He is now in the tournament 16 of 22 from 3. Nothing short of remarkable.
Well, Jim, that's a breakdown in the scouting report by Arizona. Why would you go double team on Turner and leave Mills open? That was a reactionary move by the Arizona defense, but they've got to remember who's in what white jersey.
Turner puts Kentucky ahead by 1.
On the arm.
To the line for two.
Here we see the penetrating move. Turner, as I said, from 15 feet on in, he has quite an arsenal of shots. Great shooter in there, but will not make it from three. Arizona has to remember where Turner is when there's penetration and kickouts. Let Turner open, but make sure Mills is face guarded, as is Padgett.
Miles Simon named after Miles Davis, the late great musician. His father, Walter, missed playing in a Final Four by 1 semester. There he is. He played for Utah and entered school there in the fall of '66 after Jack Gardner had taken him to his second straight Final Four in the spring.
Jack Gardner, the only man that's seen every Final Four game that we know of.
Man who took 4 teams to the Final Four. Kansas State twice. Mills hurts the average. Arizona ball. And the under 8 timeout. 47,000 on hand in the championship. The Duke of the Dukes of Hazzard right there. Billy, you said before the game you thought this game might be so wild we'd be talking about double overtime tonight, something crazy like that.
Jim, wasn't it 1957, triple overtime, North Carolina, Kansas, 40 years ago? You just have a feeling these two teams could go against each other for a long time and be pretty close.
We'll leave the light on for you.
1-4 offensive set, first time shown by Arizona.
Davison jumper.
Turner may be the leading rebounder in the ball game so far.
He's got 4. Wicket. Oh, tough shot. Almost dropped for him. The man who needs 8 points tonight in his 143rd game at Kentucky. Again, the all-time record, 8 points for 1,000.
Well, Jim, remember he started 9 of his last 10 games his freshman year. Up to that point, he'd been just averaging 5.5 a game. He was all Southeast region, had that 22 points, 11 rebound game against Florida State, and 15-13 against Arkansas. Just had the great run in the NCAA tournament as a freshman.
So Harris sits with his second. Bramlett in.
And remember last year when he didn't have an opportunity, Jim, to play because he was being redshirted with that knee injury.
He did play the first 5 games, then took the medical redshirt. That helped boost the career game number.
Well, if there's any guy that wanted to get back to the Final Four after what he lost the opportunity last year, it'd be Barrett. And here's that opportunity for the double team down low.
Over the top. What do you think of the way they're handling the press?
Oh, they're doing an excellent job when they don't get the ball down so low. One of the reasons for it is Simon's such a great guy to catch the ball.
And look at the soft roll. Simon now with 9 points, leading the way.
It's one thing, Jim, to throw those lob passes to a guy that can't catch it, and if he does catch it, can't finish it. Simon can do both.
Whistle away from the ball, and it's one against Kentucky.
Prickett on a push-off. A.J. Bramlett.
Simon, you've said it several times, Billy, during the tournament, is a scorer.
He really is, and I mean that in the fact that he is not a great shooter, but he figures out ways to score. Sometimes even more dangerous to try to guard a guy like that. As we saw with Shammond Williams in the North Carolina game against Arizona, a guy who's a great shooter, but not really be able to create his own shots.
There's Simon creating again. Yeah, he'll go to the line for 2 more. Near the conclusion of every NCAA tournament game, we have been and we will continue to select a Chevrolet most valuable player of the game from each team. Today, Chevrolet has contributed almost $6.5 million to the scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities. Mercer comes back for Kentucky. He's made only 1 of 4 from the field for 3 points. And there's Anthony Epps, who's also 1 of 4 from the field, that being a 3 as well.
Well documented that Miles Simon missed the first 11 games this year. He traveled on his own to away games just to support the team, which shows great leadership qualities that he had there. He actually passed a course, Jim, Family Studies 401, which put him over the top and made him eligible. And when they came back, Arizona just didn't take off right away. It took a while to adjust with him in the lineup.
And we study the family for a moment. His sister Charisse quite pleased with the 2 free throws that gives Arizona the lead, 24-22.
There's that help by Davidson. Somebody open.
Muhammad put it up with the left hand, and Bibby rips away the rebound.
And notice when these guards grab rebounds, they can start to break with the dribble.
Under 6 minutes to go, first half. Dickerson, 3-point shot, big arc, comes up shy.
Probably not a good decision to shoot that one, Jim. He wasn't squared up, and when you're having a hard time hitting shots, you want to make sure that you get squared up to the basket, not fade away.
Steps, no foul. Muhammad with the putback to tie it at 24.
Nasir Muhammad has had some big games in the tournament, 10-10 against Iowa in his best outing.
Man who shed 60 pounds from a year ago after being on the JV team last season.
Every time Kentucky doubles down, Arizona looks to go opposite.
Mercer got him with the arm. He's incredulous, but the whistle. And that will be a 1-and-1.
Terrific hands by Muhammad, putting it back up. Throughout the course of the year, Jim, this young man's had some big games. 11-14 against Auburn, 18-12 against Georgia Tech. And there's Mercer questioning the call, but no doubt about it, he got a piece of the arm.
1-and-1 for Simon, who's already hit 7 of 8 from the line.
Jim, one of the things that jumps out at you about this Arizona team, they have taken 188 more free throws than their opponents coming into this this ball game tonight. So they get to the line often.
Well, this is their 11th attempt coming to Kentucky's only 2. 26-24 Arizona.
Solid screen inside. Epps just couldn't get it. Prickett really wants it.
Yeah, he got position, but help underneath in Arizona bats it away.
There's that quickness of their big men. Bramlett coming over to help out Davis. Seen a lot of shots blocked by the weak side defender.
Lob. Davison able to keep it in play, trying to duplicate the Grant Hill play of 91 here at the Dome.
Probably not a very good move there, just up 2 points. He can get a better play than that.
Turner by Muhammad, put back again. The man from Chicago with 6 off the bench. Simon, and they're going to count the basket and send him to the line.
Yes, they are, Jim. Good call. And there's that Arizona team speed once again going right over the top of Kentucky. You can see Rick Pitino for the first time this year looking out of the floor at a team that can run quicker than his team can. Get back. He hates breakouts. One of the things, the few times you'll really hear him scream in practice in a scrimmage is when a team gets a breakout in a scrimmage game. Muhammad doing a good job getting back, but too late.
Yeah, he was called for the goaltend, the foul on Turner, his second. And Miles Simon back to the line. He has already attempted 10 free throws in the first half. Cameron Mills in. There was one time a Mills who, well, tried to play basketball at both schools. And that's Chris Mills. That's one connection between these two programs.
Yes, he played at Kentucky, then went to Arizona. Actually, he's the only guy in Arizona basketball history who has a triple-double.
And Arizona will get the ball back. They'll bring back in Michael Dickerson and Gene Edgerson. This Edgerson fella right here, 33, has really been sensational, Billy. 9 rebounds against North Carolina, which matched his freshman high this year of 9 against Carolina in the opener.
Young man from New Orleans.
Same high school as Terry Kittles.
Everybody expected Kittles to be the Final Four, and it wasn't Kittles.
Bibby over Epps. Tough shot.
2 bad shots by Arizona. Well, I mentioned the one by Dickerson. That one really wasn't a good put up by Bibby. Kentucky has not been able to free Ron Mercer yet, coming off of those curl moves of his. He doesn't look quite as quick as he's been in the past.
Mills, two-point basket. One rules a 2, and on the other side a 3. And Tim Higgins steps in and emphatically states it's a 2.
Jim, Cameron Mills, let's put this in perspective. He did not score a point. We'll see whether he is right on the line with those feet. Yes, he is, without question. He's over the line by good 4 or 5 inches. He did not score a point in the first 4 games of the year this year for Kentucky.
Got the under 4 time at 33%. It was their worst shooting performance in 132 games since their opening round loss to Santa Clara back in '93. But they won this time.
Good, hard, two-handed chest pass beats Mills.
Simon thought he had it that time. He was sure that was going to drop.
Boy, Dickerson really ripped off that two-handed chest pass. Mills anticipating it's going to be thrown, but had so much on it that it beat his defense.
Prickett got free, and he'll go back to the line.
That was an outstanding move by Prickett. He recognized what happened. Ederson was going to try to hedge to help Dickerson on Mercer. You'll see it right here. Ederson, see, he goes out to help, and when he does, the passer does a terrific job of recognizing it, throws it inside. That's reading the defense. A terrific job by Kentucky all the way around.
Bramlett with his first. And enjoying the game, but would rather be on the sidelines, is Clem Haskins, the coach of the year after a magnificent season for Minnesota. And one of the great moves, he kept his team here, didn't send them home. They're here tonight watching the championship game. Wanted them to get the full experience of the week in Indianapolis.
Jim, and here's one of the things that Kentucky likes to do is press off of made free throws. Good job by Dickerson to come back and help. Shortened up the passing lane.
Jason Terry, the drive, and it's swatted away by Muhammad.
Muhammad's really having a fine half. McGlure started, but Muhammad is playing the minutes.
6 points and 7 rebounds for Muhammad.
1 block and was credited with that last pass to Prickett. Good backdoor move by Mercer.
Mercer gives it back to Prickett. Missed the lay-in, and Bramlett clears.
Jim, this poor shooting percentage and the fact that Kentucky is not in the foul line has taken away their ability to set up their full court pressure, which really helps Arizona.
Terry, open 3, got it. The man who slept in his uniform last night, Jason Terry, started that ritual last week at the Southeast Regional before the game against Providence. And he's been wearing that now for almost 24 hours.
Well, I'm sure that everybody in the locker room wants to be near him.
There's Muhammad with 2 more.
Muhammad having a great half. And again, by scoring, the press gets established. Ederson coming back for the ball, really not a good ball handler.
Dickerson thought about challenging Epps, now looking for help. Go ahead and put it up. Dickerson struggling again tonight, 1 of 6 from the field.
Jim, one of the things that's hurting Dickerson in this slump is shot selection. He's almost shooting as an afterthought. He was the leading scorer on this team, and he got that way by taking good shots, not bad ones.
Muhammad's the hot one.
Bramlett on good defense. Muhammad hustling, but he's really getting tired.
Kentucky by 1. 1 minute to go in the half. Simon finds Ederson open, who waits, and then got hit on the arm by Muhammad.
Mills is down over here, Jim. Really took a spill. Ederson just waited for everybody to go by because he knows what a great leaper he is. Good move on his part, but Mills went down hard, and he's still there.
Pitino will come over to assist.
Jim, a little chance here to say something about a championship that took place yesterday. The University of Tennessee, Pat-Head Summit. She is now 55-11 in the NCAA. She's been to 10 Final Fours, 7 title games. She's won 5 championships, and looks like Mills really got cut on the chin here.
Here's the reverse angle, Billy.
There's Edgerson staying down, goes up. Let's see what happened. I guess.
I think he got hit
after the fact.
No, he got hit by the elbow. Just randomly hit Edgerson's right elbow.
Looks like you'll have to go to the locker room.
You mentioned Tennessee's great repeat last night, winning the women's title for the second straight year. Kentucky and Tennessee were the two champions a year ago, and they met at the White House last May the 20th. They'd like to go back to the Rose Garden in a month or two.
Jim, I'm going to give you something that's kind of interesting. You can see Mills really in some pain there. But of the 4 major championships in basketball and baseball, men and women, the SEC has won the last 5. LSU in baseball, UT women's hoops back-to-back, Florida in football, and Kentucky men's basketball. The SEC has reigned supreme with a chance to go again.
Well, Arizona's swim team won the championship.
I said of the 4 major sports.
Oh,
football, basketball, 3 major sports. Football, basketball, and baseball. A lot of people have won other championships.
Edgerson steps up and knocks them both down for a 39% free throw shooter. Mighty impressive. So a 20 called. And
up the clock. It was a terrific comeback. It's a very well coached team.
50 seconds and a half. Big story here. Mercer has only 3 points.
Well, notice how well Arizona is playing the 3.
Muhammad comes in from the side, and he had another chance. He's missed 2 short ones now. And the last shot to Arizona.
How about this Simon? Does he understand the game or not? I mean, he knew without Lute Olson telling him we're going to take 1 shot. Normally he's off and running. Here he plays it easy. Now he's got F's. Let's look at the matchups here. I'd go to Bibby with Mercer on him. Looks like Simon wants to keep it the full route. He's down to 7 seconds. Not a good move.
Cricket inbounds, 2 seconds. Epps just flings it. And Arizona goes to the locker room with a 1-point lead.
Jim, I think it would have been smarter for Simon to give it to Bibby, let Bibby penetrate and come out to Simon.
Lute Olson, he's won a world championship. Now he's looking for a national championship.
Maybe we need to go into that a little more depth later. People wouldn't understand. He did win the world championships back in the days before the NBA was involved. With the likes of a David Robinson as a college player and Muggsy Bogues and Sean Elliott.
That was 1986. Let's bring in Michelle Tafoya. Michelle?
All right, with Coach Lute Olson, you were concerned about the 3-point shot. Their star Ron Mercer in the press. So far, you've contained Mercer. You've handled the press. Maybe the new challenge is Nazim Mohammed.
Well, the problem is they've done a great job. When we've been hedging out on that screen, they've released their guy really well and hurt us a little bit, so we've got to make some
rebounds, 8 points. Terrific job.
And look at this, 10 ties.
Point, Simon says, and he has spoken in this first half.
This man spoke in the second half Saturday against North Carolina. Hits 5 threes in the second stanza. Mike Bibby.
Double teaming out of this.
Quick hands of Turner, but he got a piece of the arm. Kentucky had trailed in the tournament in the second half a total of 25 seconds prior to tonight. 15 seconds trailing by a point to Iowa in the second round. And for 10 seconds last Saturday night against Minnesota.
Mills has to come in, and that's the 3rd foul on Turner. Very important. Mills nowhere near the defender. Trying to go lob over the top.
Padgett reached in to knock it away.
So that means that Epps becomes the primary ball handler with Turner sitting down. Changes things a lot for Kentucky.
He handled that job for about the first 30 games of the season. Here's Padgett, his favorite spot we mentioned. All there this time. They set up for a press.
You don't see that often, Jim. You're talking about a very good outside shooter. Not guarded at all. And here's the press. Bibby comes back to it.
Bramlett ahead to Simon. Simon lob. Oh, he hit the rim.
It was too good a pass.
Well, that's why he's a scorer,
or too bad a shot.
He's such a scorer, he can't even pass without almost making it. Kentucky ball.
And Jim, that was a very easy play. for 2 points for Arizona. It didn't have to be that good a lob. Just a direct two-handed pass. Davison would have put it away. Dickerson's having his problems offensively, but he is really shadowing Mercer. That's a game within itself, watching those two chase each other around the floor.
Mercer got free off the McGlure screen, and Kentucky moves ahead.
First time Mercer's been able to rub off that screen and get free.
That was his first field goal in over 15 minutes on the clock. Dickerson, Bramlett can follow. Blocked by McGlure.
Kentucky getting great play out of their double centers. Muhammad and McGlure.
Mills, three. Rolls out, and a push against Arizona.
Two wide open threes for Kentucky. Mills misses one, Paget the other. You won't see that often.
They gave Mills at halftime 3 stitches in his chin after that elbow, the flying elbow he was.
How about this substitution, Jim? Arizona puts down all 3 now. This is for an instructional set by Lute Olson, not for a rest.
Mills, Bramlett picked up his second a moment ago, and Edgerson picks up the board.
Just a mini clinic by Lute Olson with his 3 frontline players.
Bibby. Oh, he loves the second half.
And he loves that side of the floor.
Arizona by 2.
Bibby shooting right under 40% for 3 on the year. As we talked about, his opening game against North Carolina came up big, showed he was going to have a presence in the year.
Mills, a 2.
Arizona is so quick, Kentucky really pulls off the press quite a bit.
Simon, good fake. Good move by Miles Simon.
Simon knew what he was going to do, Jim, before he caught the ball. He had his mind set up. It was an excellent offensive play.
And a 20 called by Kentucky. Kentucky, which has won its last 11 NCAA tournament games.
Jim, here we see the end of that basket, but we're watching right at what Simon had in mind. Before he caught the ball, he froze the defense of Kentucky. They thought he was going to catch and pass. He split the middle. He's done it twice tonight.
This Kentucky team, Billy, used 11 different starting lineups this season. You look at their numbers with Derek Anderson out. It's so great to see him shoot the 2 technicals on Saturday, but you have the 18-point average of Mercer, and then the next 8 players all average between 5 and 9 points, everyone understanding their role in this Pitino system.
You know, those stats are kind of funny in this respect. Mercer was right at 18 when Anderson went down, and he's still at 18.
Mercer, that's going to be
on the line.
Basket interference on McGlure.
It was on the rim.
I think it was on the way down, too. I think it was going to drop for a basket.
Now, here's a case where Mercer may be a little tired, Jim. He'd normally be way up above that rim on that putback. Excellent stutter dribble by Bibby.
Loose ball, and Mercer bounced it off the Arizona player, Bibby.
There we see the tip. Ball on the cylinder, and everybody wanted to become an official there.
Hold on now. They're going to call a foul on the Wildcats. Nope. We'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be on Simon. He banged Mercer, who beat him with the first step.
That's the first foul he's committed. That's why it's a little... Prickett also
is on the bench with 5 fouls, so Arizona has a slight advantage there.
Paget has 4. Bramlett with 4 on the side for Arizona.
Both teams get an extra timeout.
Bibby retrieves.
And pushes that ball up court.
Kind of interesting. Each team had a timeout in regulation. Arizona didn't take one for the final shot. Then off the rebound, Kentucky didn't call one. Just about 2 seconds to go. Davison working inside, and McGlure hacked him.
I love the composure of Simon and Bibby on the floor. They're almost connected by a cord. Seems like when Bibby breaks the press, Simon always seems to be open.
Third on McGlure, who will head out. Muhammad in.
Let's see if Kentucky, one time down the floor, Jim, tries to go into Muhammad to get Brantlett out of the ball game with 4 fouls to try to balance his foul trouble up a little bit. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see that's why Muhammad came in for McGlure.
Davison, who was playing junior college ball a year ago.
Best junior college player in America.
Hits them both.
Check the offensive set now for Kentucky. See if they try to go down inside to Muhammad. Mercer off. Muhammad not looking for the ball. Here he is.
Kentucky with only 2 starters on the floor. That's Epps and Mercer. Epps to Muhammad. Boy, that was a great pass. Epps was stuck for a moment, and he found Muhammad open.
Well, it wasn't exactly how I thought they would try to get the ball inside. Who are they calling that foul?
Might be Bramlett.
If it is, it works out perfectly for Rick Pitino.
It is. It's Bramlett.
That's his 5th. Well, it wasn't the way I thought they'd get the ball to Muhammad, but it worked out perfectly. Bramlett's 5th. Well, that's his 5th, but they've already given the ball. This is interesting here. They've given the ball to the shooter. They didn't get Bramlett out of the game. He's going to have to come out now.
He's hiding. He was trying to hide, being rather coy about it, and now he gets a hug from Jason Terry.
Now,
Rick
wants
says,
another free throw.
I want that free throw back.
See, the referees had handed the ball to the shooter, Muhammad, which means then you can't get the substitute in. But Bramlett should have been taken out of the ball game before that had taken place.
Does Pitino have a case?
No.
So Donnell Harris takes the spot of A.J. Bramlett. One more for Muhammad. He's 0 for 5 tonight from the line. Make it 0 of 6. And a hack on Mercer. That's his 4th.
Well, you didn't want Mercer to commit the foul, but you don't mind Harris, who has banked one in tonight, who's a 58% free throw shooter, going to the line.
Now they call it on Mills. Let's scratch that. So Mercer with only 3, 2 on Mills, and McGlure comes in for Muhammad. Muhammad hurt him tonight at the line. 0 of 6.
Well, you've got to get the ball down into him, though. I'm surprised that Rick is taking him out on this occasion. I thought maybe go that offensive-defensive shift and use McGlure on the defensive end. Expect Nazi to be back in there shortly.
Harris to give them the 3-point edge. So both ends, the teams missed 2 free throws. 4 minutes to go in the overtime. 76-74 Arizona.
Terry chasing Mills every place he goes, knowing how he wants to get off the jumper.
3 partially blocked. Mercer with Bibby trying to jar it loose, and Terry comes out with it.
Those incredibly quick hands by Terry tonight, and Turner tonight, and Bibby. Just amazing. No wonder he's the steal leader. Smart play to pull things out, settle down. And you know who's on the bench, Jim? Dickerson. Lute Olson sensing he just didn't have confidence in his offensive game. So his leading scorer is sitting.
Bibby. That was with 3 on the shot clock. Simon has to release it in time, and he got the rim.
No call.
Arizona retrieved that. No shot clock violation, and for a second I thought Arizona might come up with it. And then the foul, and then no whistle.
Well, you love to see intelligent plays. Simon pulls them time and time again. He knew exactly where that clock was.
Arizona calling for double dribble, but no whistle. Gadget on the drive. Harris inside for Arizona. And look at Terry. He dribbled it right around the Kentucky player. It goes in. Harris trailing. And McGlure got him.
Again, this incredible quickness by the big players from Arizona to get down on follow-ups. Everybody bending over, holding their pants right now. You know how exhausted they are. I said I thought Mercer was about 80%, about 2/3 of the way through the second half. He's a lot less than that now.
That was the fourth on McGlure. Harris back to the line. Now 3 straight misses in overtime. We have not had a field goal in the OT. Only the 2 free throws earlier.
Jim, important foul shot here. You get up 3.
2 free throws by Davison. Muhammad back.
Muhammad returns to the Kentucky line requesting the ball.
You remember Ron Mercer against Villanova that we had earlier this year, where he was just explosive coming off of those screens. You can see now, as tired as he is, Simon able to stay with him. Here comes a screen.
Needing a 3 to tie. Obviously not having to take a 3 with 2:10 remaining. Well, not that urgent.
Yeah, plenty of time. But without Turner out there, they lose their key penetrator.
Evans had an open alley. Back of the rim, Blues go. And it's going to the other way.
It's going to be Terry. That's a foul on Mercer over the back of Terry, who has been all over it with loose balls and rebounds here in the overtime.
That's the 4th now on Mercer.
Terry is 70% free throw shooter.
Jason Terry.
Saw Terry on Turner tonight. Ted Turner Stadium. Kenny Lofton yesterday, the former Arizona player, hit the first home run ever out of Turner Stadium.
This kid originally committed to Washington orally and then signed with Arizona. For 3 years he watched college basketball as close as he could get a ticket. He was a popcorn vendor at the University of Washington home games at Heck Edmondson Pavilion. All through his high school years.
Those were clean.
4, make it a 5-point lead as he makes the most. 79-74. Inside 2 minutes. Kentucky has not scored in the overtime.
Part of that reason again, it's a lack of fresh legs.
Epps, clutch again, brings it to 3.
Terry's really given a lift because now Simon and Bibby both can clear out, and Terry with fresher legs brings the ball up the court.
Minute 30 remaining.
Oh, again, Padgett gets caught. Terry should have kept the ball. Padgett got caught on a switch. Can happen again. If you're Arizona, just hold the ball right here and get in a 1-4 because you got Bibby against a man who can't guard him.
Huge possession if they can score here. Bibby, Harris, foul.
Seems like Harris is living on the line, and you know, he said he looked at Simon, and Simon said something about the foul shots, and I could read his lips. He said, "I got him."
Now he's laughing about it as Davison gave him a little tip. Give this kid all kinds of accolades, though, for his inside play with Bramlett having fouled out. Padgett with 4.
Now, is there blood again? Now we have Mills going out with blood on the knee. Rick Pitino saying, what else can happen to my team?
He's already had 3 stitches sewn into his chin.
Edwards, who unfortunately had an injury and missed the latter part of the season, so he hasn't been at full strength. We all know about Anderson not able to play at all, with the exception of shooting those 2 technicals. So Pitino has done wonders with this depleted club.
And Allen Edwards, as you say, less than 100% also. 2 for Harris. Oh yes.
Jim, Lute Olson turned his back, walked down, drinking the water.
He's still not looking his way. He's not watching. He is not watching. Nor is Bobby. They turned around and gave it a little look out of the corner. But still, 1 of 2 gives him a 4-point lead. We approach the 1-minute mark.
Major possession here for Kentucky. They should be going for 2, not worry about 3.
This is the guy they want shooting it. Padgett short. And Simon in the right spot again.
Simon wants to get fouled, Jim. He wants to get fouled.
And Mercer obliges and fouls out. Ron Mercer's career at Kentucky has come to a close.
Yes, Simon wanted to get fouled on that exchange. Instead of exploding out of there, there's Mercer going to go to the bench.
So they'll be shooting 2 free throws. This incredible tournament journey by Arizona. Already knocking out 2 number 1s. Trying to knock out a 3rd tonight. 41 seconds away from a national championship. They'll shoot free throws. And Nance, Billy Packer. Arizona 80-76 in overtime. That was Kentucky's timeout. Left with 1 full timeout. And Billy Mercer fouls out of the game with 13 points and 9 rebounds.
Another very smart play by Simon, Jim. He got the rebound. Instead of exploding out, he wanted to be fouled. I think he has such confidence in himself. And Mercer was trailing behind. Nothing he could do but reach on in there. So Kentucky really depleted now. Turner on the bench with fouls. Prickett on the bench with fouls. And now Ron Mercer on the bench with fouls. And Derek Anderson, who would have been an All-American this year, on the bench, not able to play because of injury.
Simon tonight with 26. He's made 10 of 13 free throws.
It was so interesting, Jim. Against North Carolina, with about 2 minutes to go, Simon ran by our broadcast position and said, we've got 1 more to go after this. That game was not yet over.
All 8 points in overtime for Arizona have come from the line. 6-point Arizona lead.
And that's why he wanted to be on the line.
Epps with a 3. Davison had it stolen by Muhammad. Epps cut it in half. Bibby in the corner. Who touched it last? Kentucky.
Kentucky's got a foul now.
19 seconds remaining.
They have got to go through the fouling parade the rest of the way.
A steal by Muhammad. No, he had a foot on the line. Teddy Valentine was right there. Arizona ball.
Jim, you're down 6. There's 2 possessions. You cannot afford to let Arizona take time off the clock with a dribble. Lute Olson going to take a timeout to get himself organized.
There it is. Timeout, Arizona. Only 14 seconds remaining. Bobby Olson making her way to the court. Lute Olson's wife of 43 years and 5 kids. They have 11 grandchildren. Almost all their family resides in Tucson. Lute had 2 different opportunities to really get into the Kentucky mix, but he ended up staying because the family was all settled in Tucson. He said anyone who's a grandparent can certainly understand how special that is. I never wanted to give it up.
Still just 6, Jim. 2 possessions with 3s. You got to go for the steal and then foul. Got a foul.
Over to Simon, and Padgett commits it immediately.
But if you're Arizona, you've got to feel very comfortable with a guy by the name of Simon. We started the show saying Simon says, and he has said a lot. Look at that, Epps, congratulating Simon, realizing that things are probably over here.
Padgett is
fouled out. He fouled out. That was
he's out of fouls also. 17 points, 14 of them coming in the second half. Stephen Masiello has come in, a former Nick Ball boy. They call him Rudy around here at Kentucky. He's come in now for the Wildcats of Rick Pitino. 2 shots for Simon. When he's done at the line, he will have had as many attempts tonight as the Kentucky team, 17.
Jim, you're looking at the leading scorer in this year's NCAA tournament. 11 points, 20, 17, 30, 24, and then tonight, the big night.
There will be no repeat. Bills with the 3 and a timeout, 6.4. 84-79 Arizona. 6.4 seconds remaining. Scott Padgett, one of 4 Kentucky players disqualified to fouls.
Jim, Interesting time now for Arizona to go long, because Kentucky's not guarding the man taking the ball out of bounds, which means that if you break guys towards the basket, everybody's going to try to make the interception. Set a little screen and Simon or Bibby can go long.
Who else but Simon? They're not going to foul him. It's only right. The ball's in his hands. A milestone victory for Arizona.
Simon says championship.
Lute Olson for 13 years toiled as a high school coach in Minnesota. Orange County, California. Also was a U.S. history teacher at the same time. You just can't survive as a high school coach with 5 kids. They made a little history tonight. His team, the most amazing run this tournament has ever seen. In 11 days, they beat the 3 winningest programs in the history of college basketball, and all 3 were #1 seeds.
Miles to go before I sleep. Arizona will sleep all right, and they'll be dreaming about Miles Simon, who had 30 tonight. They're the national champions. Let's go back down to the celebration and our man Jim Nance. Jim?
All right, well, right here, Josh Pastner, one of the great supporters and members of this team. Miles Simon, what a game tonight. How did you guys pull off this upset?
I think we just wanted it more at the end. Coach, when we came to the overtime, you know, they had hit 2 big threes. Their legs were dragging. They were in foul trouble. We just wanted it more.
You know, you've been coming to Final Four since 1984, 6 times as a spectator. You've watched this scene from up in the stands. Did you ever imagine you'd be standing here tonight?
Nothing better than this. Nothing better. When I shoot my last free throws, I had chills run through my body. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
30 points tonight.
I heard you too talking about before. You still can't believe it. It's been a long wait, huh?
No, it's just, I mean, this won't sink in. It's like a dream. But the thing that I'm so pleased about is this is one tough group of cats. And they were not about, I mean, the whole thing we talked about in the locker room was the toughest team mentally and physically is going to win this basketball game. And it's interesting to see late, it wasn't us with our hands on our hips or our hands behind our head. The guys just did a great job of hanging in.
Bobby, what is it like for all those years that he had to come home without the championship? How did you ever get him in this kind of framework to bring this team in here so positive?
I don't know. He's just so relaxed. It's wonderful. I think this team just relaxes him. It's the greatest win we've ever had.
Without question. Tremendous job.
This whole team's coming back. Some may go on to the NBA and say, show me the money. We say, show me the loot. Lute Olson, congratulations. Show us the trophy.
Hey, Pat.
Pat, back to you.
All right, Jim, stay out of that dancing situation. Tonight's Chevrolet players of the game, Miles Simon from Arizona, 30 points, tying a career high. And from Kentucky in a losing effort, and a great losing effort, Scott Padgett had 17 points, 14 of them in the second half. Back upstairs here with Mike Krzyzewski and Clark Kellogg, and we were talking about, they're saying tough teams. Sometimes those tough teams kind of fizzle out at the end, but boy, these guys just gave the Heat the whole game.
Oh, they really did. And you know, when this matchup was decided upon on Saturday, I said the team that played the hardest, the longest, and endured, I thought it was going to be purely a battle of wills, and it clearly was. Outstanding effort both ways. Arizona able to prevail the longest.
20 ties, 18 lead changes. Can't ask for a better game, Coach.
Lute Olson did a marvelous job, Pat. And the guard rebounding, Jason Terry, Donnell Harris, the kids off the bench gave valiant efforts. And really, when you take a look at the Kentucky Wildcats, what a courageous, valiant effort by those young men and their coaching staff.
Well, there they are, the national champions. And when you look back at this tournament, how many of you out there had them in your brackets? When we come back, the trophy presentation. And this is what it is. Out on the streets of Indianapolis tonight, they'll be saying, "Did you see that game?" And you bet we did. The spectacular aerial shots provided by the Goodyear blimp. Coming up.
Your attention, please. To present the championship awards tonight, here is the chairman of the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Committee, Mr. Terry Holland.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the NCAA and the Division I Men's Basketball Committee, I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate two outstanding teams on their performance tonight and throughout the tournament. And now I hope you'll join me as I present the championship trophy to Coach Lute Olson and the Arizona Wildcats.
Thank you very much, Terry. Thank you very much. What a great game. What a great effort from both teams. Neither team would yell, quit, right to the very end. And I think that's a credit to Coach Pitino and the outstanding team at Kentucky. But I'm very proud of the toughness of this group that no one thought should be here. No one thought could do it. 3 number 1 seeds went down. This is one tough, young group of cats. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the NCAA.
Back upstairs, and Mike Krzyzewski, you've been there.
The greatest feeling in the world, and my first national championship was right on that floor, and I can understand how Lute Olson and those kids feel right now.
Clark, can we talk enough? Lute was saying this is one group of tough cats. Man, I could not believe these guys who kept coming back and coming back had the energy and the competitiveness and the skills and the guts to keep facing this tough Kentucky squad.
I think when you talk about this Arizona team, what characterizes them best is confidence, fearlessness, and resiliency. This team just continued to fight and fight, and they were able to outlast a very outstanding Kentucky club.
And one of the reasons they were able to, I think, is because Lute did such a great job resting his players down the stretch.
He did, and they really used the dribble. Dribble penetration equaled free throws and offensive rebound opportunities, and that's where the game was won.
You know what I liked about it, too, is that the fans here really embraced this game and loved it as it went into overtime. Andrea Joyce is downstairs with Rick Pitino.
All right, Pat, thank you. Coach, once again, as they have so many times this season, your kids came up with such a gutsy performance. How much was fatigue a factor late in the game and especially in overtime?
Oh, I'm sure it was, but they were fatigued also. I'm really proud of our ball. I'm very happy for Lute Olson and the Arizona Wildcats. Here's a coach that worked all his life for this moment. I wish we would have won, but I can't be any more proud of our basketball team. I was disappointed when we lost to Marquette in North Carolina, but I'm ecstatic at the effort that we got. Wish we could have won. But to the victor goes the spoils.
You have said all season long that this is a team that has played with more heart than any other team you've ever coached. How much more difficult does that make this for you tonight?
Oh, it's the most fun I've ever had as a coach, and I had a lot of fun tonight. I'm disappointed we didn't win it, but I walked off the court feeling so proud of them. Nobody likes to finish second. It's not what our country is built on. But I'm happy for Lute Olson, and I'm happy for our players, because this is what it's all about, that type of game. So I've got great pride.
They came so far and battled through adversity all season long. Anything you said to them tonight to kind of ease the pain of this?
All I told them, you're not champions with a second-place trophy, but you're champions inside. I said, you've got to give them credit. Some of the players had big nights, but if you guys are disappointed right now, you don't understand the game of life. I said, because this is no upset in the Sweet 16 or even for that matter early in the tournament. I said, you were champions. You may not show it now, but it shows in life.
A courageous effort, a terrific season. Thanks so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
All right, back to you guys.
Nothing wrong with being number 2 at that age either. Now, somebody was thinking, guys, look at this. The Indianapolis Star, Arizona wins. Just landed here, 6 seconds left in the game. And the fans will go out tonight be able to pick that up from the Indianapolis Star. Join us for a racing doubleheader this weekend. We've climbed up the beanstalk and knocked off the 3 biggest giants, college basketball's winningest programs, Kentucky, North Carolina, and Kansas. And as we say goodbye, we'd like to thank all the players, coaches, and schools, as well as the people behind the scenes who brought all the exciting sights and sounds of the games into your homes. As for the players who make this thing sing, well, some go home winners, and some go home with memories. And they all go home with the opportunity to someday tell their kids that their daddy played in the 1997 NCAA tournament. And some, they'll get to say, your daddy had a shining moment. Good night, everybody.
Ball is tipped, there you are. You're running for your life, you're a shooting star. All those years, no one knows just how hard you work, but now it shows. That one shining moment you reached deep inside. In one shining moment you knew you were alive. Feel the beat of your heart, feel the wind in your face. more than a contest. It's more than a race. And when it's done, win or lose, you always did your best, 'cause inside you knew that one shining moment you reached for the sky. One shining moment you knew. One shining moment you willing to try. One shining